everyone, and welcome to another Monday Motivation. I'm your host, Daniel Krakowski, joined, as always, by my main man.
Man, I think
everyone's main man.
Right, I think that might have been way too loud because I'm looking at this wave thing and it just killed it. So if you have headphones on and that just made your ears hurt,
you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. We don't apologize.
Anyway, so kind of funny story I wanted to start off with a little bit today. So yesterday, was getting home from work at around 7:30, as one does.
PM, not
PM.
Yep.
Had a
it's
night.
Not your other late night job.
No, not my other side dancing. But no, met up with a client at a happy hour event. It was super fun. And then as I was getting home, opening the door, I just felt something brush up against my leg. Kind of freaked out.
Possum.
No. It was just this pretty gnarly cat. And this guy just booked right past me and ran right in the house. So I just kind of rolled with it, opened the door and let the cat go in because I live in a duplex. And
didn't have a collar on.
No
it,
collar,
right?
nothing.
Okay.
Looked like a little dirty, a little matted, and it was like 20 degrees out yesterday. Some wind chill. So put some water out for it, drank a ton of that, and then now, of course, I had to deal with the moral dilemma. Myself and my girlfriend we have this cat in our house, and
it's already made its little bed.
It does, right?
Like,
of course, first thing it does is it goes over to the brand new couch and does that number. So I'm arguing with this cat in like the first 30 seconds.
In cat language or Daniel language?
No, in English. It wasn't very receptive to that.
Was this before or after you made the cat sign a lease?
I gotta charge myself pet rent, exactly.
Yes.
So, you gotta bring me one dead bird every month. And so here I am. This moral dilemma is posed. Like, this cat, I don't know this cat. Is it my problem? Do I just like kind of let it warm up for a bit and pitch it back out? Is this someone else's cat? What do I do? And this is not something that I'd ever experienced before. But this cat, for the most part, was pretty cool. It kept coming up to us and wanted us to pet it. Was being really affectionate and really, really nice. So
What color?
We've determined that it's I think it's like a chartreuse is a type of cat, but it's got long gray hair.
Okay.
Really, really beautiful cat.
Okay.
Maggie, of course, fell in love with it right away and is like...
Well, okay.
Yeah, we can't name it.
What is the cat's name?
We don't have a name yet.
You don't know yet?
No. We can't name it because we don't want to get a we don't know. Yeah, I wasn't bold enough to know. So, but anyway, so... The call that was ended up making is we're like, all right, we're going to try and test and see what this cat wants to do. So we just left the door open and kind of let it choose in and out. And it actually liked both. It kept running out and then running back in, out and in. We're like, all right, we need to just take care of this cat. So put it down in the basement, go out to Target, get a litter box, get the whole deal so it doesn't freak out and go to the bathroom everywhere and need some food too. But really what pushed it over for us was the cat was super friendly. It was just like happy to be there. It seemed appreciative as much as a cat can be. And, if this cat was like an absolute savage just biting people, and then we probably would have had to just put it outside because no one could come get it until 1 o'clock today.
Right.
So, in a roundabout way, it kind of tied into my head of like, hey, just like a little bit of honey goes a long way. Like if you're trying to accomplish something, if you want to get something, just being positive, showing a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of thanks, like even from a cat, and I'm not necessarily a cat person, really did a lot. And now I have a cat. It's just living in my house right now, unsupervised.
Unsupervised, you don't know what. It's interesting because you go to, hey, I'm going into my house, to, hey, here's a stray cat, and 10 minutes later you're at Target shopping for cat supplies. So this cat's sales game was so strong that if you weren't even thinking about getting a cat.
No.
Right. And all of a sudden you're like, what the heck? I'm buying pet supplies, and I'm going to be naming this cat, and it's going to be part of our family now.
Yeah. So now I'm $30 into this cat. I gotta.
You better do some tricks.
I gotta find a way to transport it to a vet so they can check if it has a chip in it. So
what if
that's
it does? And you already made this bond. Oh man,
I can't.
You guys are gonna have to tune in next week to continuation of the story.
We'll let you know what happens.
We'll let you know what happens. Yes.
My methodology for this, my theory is, all right, we're gonna take it in to the vet. They're gonna see if it has an owner. If it doesn't, it's going to the Humane Society. If it doesn't get adopted in the time frame of which the cat needs to be adopted, then we're going to take it. So we're going to give everyone else a chance first.
Oh, really? Bypass the Humane Society. Just keep it. I feel like you need a cat.
I'm allergic to cats. And this cat will tear up our couches and carpets and rugs, everything. I know.
I didn't know you were allergic to cats.
Very allergic, yes.
So how did you weather the storm then last night? Did you separate it?
I just sucked it up.
Really? Yep. So what happens when you...
If I touch my eyes, season's over. It looks like I got, beat up by somebody. It's crazy.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you do have a good plan considering you have an allergy that first you're going to try and find an owner. If not, then Humane Society. And then last resort, you're going to pop some
Claritins.
some pills for probably like 6 months until your body gets used to it and you're good with a cat. But going back to what you were saying, as far as a little bit of honey goes a long way, especially in our industry, sales, I think a lot of people have to think that they have to be rude or brash or very confrontational and combative when it comes to get what they want. But it's actually not the case.
Oh, no question. I think, my goal in every situation is to try and find a win that works for everybody.
Right.
And your ability to get a really good deal versus a really, really good deal, a lot of times isn't worth the risk that you have of losing the deal in the first place by pushing so hard, by being bellicose, by offending the opposition.
I've never even heard that word.
Warlike in nature.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys hearing this, fact check it. I can't even fact check it because I don't even know.
Is that a challenge on Scrabble? Are you going to challenge that one?
I don't even know if that's legit or not, but hey.
Right, but
good word.
Thank you. But
I'm gonna have to use it.
You have to every day. Let's get tattoos, matching tattoos.
How do you spell it?
BELLICOSE, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a double L.
All right.
But regardless, that's a mistake that I see people making all the time, and especially in our.
I made a mistake too.
Yeah, of course.
In my career as a young entrepreneur / salesperson in my 20s, I thought you had to do it one way, whereas now I'm just like, hey, it's all good. Let's hug it out and make this deal happen.
Right.
What's interesting about that approach is the combative way. You may win the deal, but then everyone's going to hate you, and then you may not get another deal. And in the life of a salesman or an entrepreneur or business owner, your longevity depends on the frequency and the amount of deals you can do.
Right.
So it's best to focus on like, hey, what will get me towards that goal? And that's really just being genuinely nice, appreciative, and going from an approach where you want both sides to be happy in any transaction, because that's going to lead to more and more deals. And obviously people are going to remember, hey, that was a good person, that was a good company to deal with, I want to do more business with them. No one's going to say, wow, that was a really curt fella and a great or a crappy company because they just took me for all I got, but I think I'm going to recommend them and do more business with them.
Yeah, there's a couple points to that too where, when you're looking at your ability to win a negotiation in quotation marks in a vacuum, so for this one specific transaction, your ability to do that for the most part is predicated on what type of market you're currently working in. So like right now, or let's say over the summer this year, 2017, it was a very strong seller's market, one of the strongest we've ever seen in our market. And yes, as a seller, you can get away with more than you normally could have. But on the flip side, once that switches and you're a buyer, which I think for the most case, we are definitely both of those things as investors.
Yeah.
We are both those things as real estate agents. It's kind of the flip. So you may be working with someone and being really brash and offend them, working with them as a seller, but now there's 12 other offers in on a property and you're working with a buyer. Right. You have a problem, and they're going to remember.
A huge problem.
Right. So, really just making sure you put yourself out there in a way that's going to create the best impression for other people, I think is really important.
Right. And, if you're planning to do business with other people, you're going to have to really conform to that if you want to do it in the long run. I don't think it's going to do you any good to make that one deal and just screw a lot of relationships up. Yeah. So, like I said, it goes a long way. I feel like, I challenge everybody for the next 30 days to just consciously think about that when you're encountered in an argument or a transaction, any way where you're going to come off as a rude or a brash person. Pause and do it 180 and be super nice about it to see what kind of result it's going to give you, because I think you're going to be surprised by the reaction. And I do this consciously too when I'm in a situation where the other person knows, based on their experience, that when they are going to communicate with me that I might take it a wrong way, it's going to be a battle. But then when they don't get that, they're like, whoa, what just happened? I didn't expect you to be so nice about it. And I'm like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. And then all these other things open up.
Yeah. And the more you can see the point from the other person's perspective, the easier it is to do. Where, I can think of multiple examples where, especially us in property management, yes, people are so mad. We had
all the time for no reason.
We had someone call poor Aaron Bodine.
Oh man!
I think it was a week ago or so, and the owner of this property decided that they wanted to sell the property. Mm-hmm. These tenants had lived there for 6 years.
Yep.
And to sell it, to make the property marketable, they had to ask the tenants to move out. Not early, just at the expiration of their lease, and they were given months of notice.
Right.
And their inability to see it from the other person's perspective and to apply the honey approach to it ended up likely costing them, but one of their son called Aaron and threatened to come down and physically fight him for kicking his parents out of their house.
Yeah, which obviously, we are not the main decision maker in all of our transactions, especially when it comes to third-party property management, where there are other circumstances involved. However, we'll do our best to accommodate and make arrangements with somebody else. But some things are out of our control. And obviously, based on our reviews and, our general business practices, we approach every interaction with our customers and employees from a positive perspective, and we want to make sure that even if you think that you're somehow wrong, we want to see it from your perspective and then see how we can kind of work together and come away with amicable solution, especially like you mentioned when it comes to property management business. It's tough, and no matter how you spin it or look at it, somebody's always going to say, "Oh, I'm getting the wrong end of this or this or that." But I think that we do more than quote unquote fair share, and I know I've done it over the years. A lot of it has to do with monetarily. Right. You're like, hey, I'll cover this just because of that, because it's a principle, right? It's not about the profit, and it comes back to you. I think one thing that I stand behind is the people that I work with. So I don't like when anyone, especially customers, again, tenants, owners, any customer, if you are disrespectful or threatening or rude to my employees, to our business associates, to our independent contractors, that's something that we will not stand for, and we will definitely side with them over that. So it's the approach that you don't want to take.
I mean, I think we would have been more than happy to help them find another place and gone above and beyond and done something else,
Yes.
But it's tough to want to do that going forward when there's...
And we'll give everyone a shot. Call up and say, hey, I don't think and let us explain our side and see it from our perspective. And then we'll work towards a amicable solution.
No question. So one of my favorite transactions that I've done this year, it was me and a client of mine who... Now it's a group that I consider them really good friends. I hope they consider me friends.
Are you
too.
guys friends on Facebook?
Well, of course.
Okay,
yeah.
then you are really good friends.
Okay, good.
that's your
But they're
stick.
super cool, like people that I actually just really want to spend time with outside of real estate.
Yeah.
But I owned a property, got a good deal on it, ended up selling it to them after doing some improvements to it. And basically what we did is we worked it out where we went through it. They're like, hey, identify this. This is what I want to do to improve the condition of the property. I'm like, okay, we'll just do it. And then, we can pass that cost on directly to you and not do any sort of markup. Just like, hey, we have this small margin we're trying to hit. We'll do whatever you want. We'll make it as smooth a transaction as possible. And like everything that came up, it's like they did an inspection and there were like a few items and they were like, don't worry about it, we'll pay for it. And I'm like, no, don't worry about it, I'll pay for it. And I ended up doing it because it was like $600, something small. But like, how many transactions do you get to do like that, where we had the right attitude, we had the right connection going into it, and we're arguing as true Minnesotans should over who gets the honor of paying for this improvement, this repair. Right. And it's just because we could see each other's perspectives so well and just wanted to help the other person and do right by them so much. Right.
And that's usually when the, quote unquote magic happens. And you should approach it that way. I do it. I didn't used to do it, but now I see the actual results and that it's just a much better way to live your life and also, grow and lead your business in the right direction by applying that mentality. So, yeah, good. One thing I was going to mention, I've been doing, everybody knows that I go through a ton of books on Audible, and I try to basically share all those books that I'm reading that I think that are going to be valuable on my Instagram account, at Goran_Vazovic. You can check all those out. But I wanted to just mention it over the podcast. The one that I'm listening to right now is super cool, and I wanted to recommend it to you, Daniel.
Okay.
It's called Principles, and it's by Ray Dalio. Do you know who that is?
No.
Okay, so Ray Dalio, I've heard his name mentioned from Tony Robbins, a couple of the Money Master the Game books, but he is just a really good businessman, and he's developed private equity fund over the last 40 years, probably like $180 billion under management, which is a significant dollar amount. Heads a company called Bridgewater Associates. Not Bridgewater Bank, but Bridgewater Associates out of New York. And a lot of his principles and a lot of his business practices and what he has gone through in life are really interesting and could be applied to anyone's life. And one thing that that I really got out of it so far is the transparency factor of, hey, let's not focus on who wants to be right in any particular situation. Let's just focus on getting the right solution or resolution to a problem, and that has to be incorporating with everybody else. So there's this like ridiculous amount of transparency within their company when there's a issue or problem with anyone or anything, that everybody gets to pitch in their 2 cents in a collaborative effort without the fear of them losing their job. So the lowest employees encouraged to question, him on any one thing and bring relevant information to support that argument. That's the environment that he created, and that's one of the things that he attributes his success to.
Wonderful.
So
I'll check it out.
It's called Principles, Ray Dalio.
Shout out. We're not being sponsored by that, of course.
We're definitely not.
Right. Well, cool. Thanks for being here. Heading into the holiday season. Hopefully everyone who's listening to this had a good Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Got plenty of turkey, did their shopping, got that all taken care of,
or
didn't get trampled to death. Yep, tofurkey.
Tofurkey if you're a vegetarian or vegan.
But anyway, stay tuned. We'll have maybe an update about the cat next Monday Motivation.
We will.
But try and emulate that cat in your business practice, and you will have a long, successful career. Thanks for listening, everyone.